Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We have all sorts of gossip and things I want to get off my chest on this particular episode. First things first though, Gran Turismo's had a couple of updates since I've been on last. Literally a couple of updates, and one of which was the Gran Turismo Spec II, which is basically just a repackaged version of the game with all of the downloadable content on one disc. So if you go and buy the disc, you don't have to download all the content afterwards and spend about 3 days downloading if you've got really bad internet. So if you want to go and get Gran Turismo, make sure it's the Gran Turismo Spec II. With that comes a new movie intro, which is all e-racing based. So as you'll see from the video that I will show you in a moment, it all looks very fancy, but also I was noticing some of the video content on that particular video wouldn't surprise me if it's PS5 looking. Now I know it's all rendered on PC to make the movie in the first place, but there's no reason why the look of it, the frame rates, the details of the cars, the camera angles and all that palaver couldn't be done on the PS5. So fingers crossed, if it looks like that, it will look shamazing. So that's that bit of news. Second bit of news, let's see. Well, it's not so much news, it's more of a rant. I've said before in one of my videos about the pointless car updates that they're giving us. So, or the gift car, should I say. So the last update we had an old Ferrari. We had some rubbish V8 that doesn't handle. But it's a newish car, so I'll give them that. And another old car, I don't even know what it was. I was so disinterested in it. I don't see what the appeal is with these older cars. You know, the vintage. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they've gone into the massive effort in, you know, scanning them, detailing them, creating them, blah blah blah. But when are we ever going to use them? Do you mean? We're just, unless they put it on a daily race, which they have done on one of them, on one of the old American V8 cars, which again, it's a bag of poo, doesn't handle. It handles exactly like it did when it was first released into the real world. And, you know, there's a good reason why America has a lot of straight roads and not a lot of bends. You know, we don't need that. It's a Gran Turismo, it's a racing game. So corners are inevitable. So we need cars that can at least look at a corner and not be too afraid to go around it. Are you with me? And some would say that it's, I don't know, more engaging driving a car that's really poo at handling. But I would disagree. It's unpleasurable. It's very slow. It's just, I don't know. There's a certain amount of patience needed with this game when it comes to that type of content, and I have not got it. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. And I do love the game, don't get me wrong. I'm not dogging the game in any way regarding how it plays. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's a great game. I'm just getting a bit teed off with all the old cars that keep coming out. Now, they're either doing it because they're waiting for Gran Turismo 7 or the next Gran Turismo for being on PS5, or they genuinely think we're interested. And I don't know where they're getting this info from, because I can't find it anywhere. I don't see loads of comments on, you know, Gran Turismo based social media going on about the fact that they want an old Ferrari, or, you know, an old Jag, or, you know, ooh, a Fiat from the 1960s. No, I don't see any of that at all. And then we have to do the tedious thing of racing them in a daily race, because that's the only time they're coming out of the garage. And even then, it's a you know, if you've got a choice of 3 races on your daily races, and one of them's an old vintage car, odds are it won't get used, or it gets used very, very little. And I'm sure if I'm wrong, then I would like to see the statistics of the amount of people playing on those particular set races against more interesting ones. So either a modern car or a racer car, touring car type, you know, vehicles. So yeah, but it all, I don't know, it confuses me because it's a racing game. It's a racing game. So why put a road car on a racing game? It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? We're not driving around the streets. It's not Grand Theft Auto. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. And because this is not like an old Gran Turismo where you could modify the road car, you know, sticking wings on, bits and bobs, making it a race car, turning a road car into a race car. You've not got that. So you've just got, make it lighter, make it more powerful, tweak your suspension a little, but it will always handle like a road car, regardless. If you set up a road car with the same horsepower and lightness of a standard race car of the same make, which one wins? The race car. For obvious reasons. It's built to race. But the road car, not built to race, built to be on the road. But you can't turn it into a race car, which you could in the old Gran Turismos. And that was the exciting part. You could customise it, you know, to your heart's content. And you can do with deliveries, but it's just very basic. So I'm assuming it's just very basic because really this Gran Turismo Sport is the prologue of the series, as they normally do. They normally give you a prologue. It's a lengthy prologue though, I'll give you that. They don't normally last this long before the main event comes out, but I'm assuming they had word the PS5 was going to come out not so long into the future of Gran Turismo Sport. So I thought they're just thinking, we'll wait, we'll put out the prologue and just dish out these old rusty bags of poo until PS5's ready and we can bump out Gran Turismo 7. Maybe on release, you know, knock the trend that they normally, because they normally don't put things out on the release of a PlayStation. It's normally a year bloody later, and it's not as if they don't have enough time. But they seem to have gone forth in terms of being a bit more savvy. Obviously the rumours are that all the cars are rendered in 8K, so there's no reason now this time round to not port that from the PS4 version to the PS5. And because it's more or less the same architecture, it's just faster equipment in terms of hardware, they can just ramp up the dial and bang, PS5, Gran Turismo 7. Shisham. Hopefully with all the bells and whistles of the normal Gran Turismo. So that's that rant over with. I'll get that out the way so I'm not boring you to death. Right, so wet tracks. Okay, so we've got Tokyo Express, and it's a wet track and the penalty system's rubbish. It's all over the intervals. You just need to nudge the wall and you get 5 seconds. You just need to crash and you get 5 seconds, just to add insult to injury. If you hit someone by accident under braking and they hit the wall, 5 second penalty. If you blink and, I don't know, shout at your dog, 5 second penalty. Do you know what I mean? It's just the penalty system's just ridiculous on it, and it desperately needs looking at. And I know it's a complicated thing, the penalties, but if it's that complicated, just reduce the penalty a bit, so it's not as savage or as you know. I feel like when you go on there, you get 5 seconds. I've been kicked in the nuts. That's it. Gran Turismo just kicks me in the nuts every time. And it's like, if I go any slower, I might as well get that Fiat out with its fucking pram wheels again, and we'll go and, you know, I'll probably pass all those GT4 GTs just because I can just go flat out around all the corners at, you know, 45 miles an hour everywhere. They might catch me on the straight, maybe, because I'm such a skilled driver. They probably wouldn't catch me at all. Not really. So yes, wet tracks. Yeah, it looks great, and it's a bit of a challenge, so it's all good. But the penalty system needs looking at. It's desperately broken. And yeah, get onto it, will you? Stop giving us these old bags of poo and work on the physics of the actual penalty system. Right, that's that done. Next. Okay, what have we got next? Yeah, I need to start doing the FIA stuff and getting involved with that. I need to start putting time aside on the FIA days to do all the races, so we can start building some points and keeping the channel interesting. If there's anything else you'd like me to do on Gran Turismo that you think, do you know what, it'd be nice if he did that because I'd watch it, then please put it in the comments and I shall read them and I shall implement them if it's possible. Obviously, I'm not going to be, you know, oh, could you drive a jelly bean round a track at 40? No, I can't, because there's not jelly bean on the game with mods or an engine or a concept, and it's Gran Turismo, so it's, yeah, never gonna happen. Well, other than that, if you've got any decent ideas, send them forth, and if you think that you've got an idea that no one else is doing on Gran Turismo and you think, I think Cliff should do that, send it me. If I can do it, I'll give it a go. Do you know what I mean? I'm not shy on that respect. So yeah, I'm gonna go and load up the new update and I'll play you the intro movie. You've probably seen it about a million times, probably, if you've got Gran Turismo. But if you're thinking about getting Gran Turismo, I highly recommend it. Get involved. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the likey button because it helps me, hit the bell for notifications so you can see when I'm next updating or uploading, should I say. And yeah, I will pursue to make more time available to the channel so we can pump out those vids. But I don't want to just pump out vids for the sake of it. I want the vids to be interesting, so any ideas along with my own, put them on there and I'll do my best. Anyway, enjoy the movie. I shall see you next time. Peace, people.